Good afternoon, everybody, and a very warm welcome to a very special Watch Series episode. We've rounded up the MTD podcast crew to talk to you all about the world of ACSP, and we're going to be talking about the bad, the good. Actually, is there any good? With the bad, the problematic, everything that goes with it. Yeah. So here we are with a watch series about ACSP. Get involved in the comments below. Powered by the Ask the Accountant Network. This is a show where we cut through the noise and dive into what ACP really means for you. And we're going to explain what ACP is in a moment, but we're going to talk about it all. I'm your host, Aaron Patrick, aka the QuickBooks Chat, and joining me today are two of the sharpest mind in ACP strategy. Maybe I'm stealing ACSP strategy. I might be stealing the intro for MTD for the MTD Watch Series here.
Yeah.
Let's go with you first, Amy, co-host of the QuickBooks Labs podcast and hashtag Audit Amy. How are you doing, Amy? And how has your journey to where we got to today for ACSP been for you?
Good. I've kind of followed the news, followed the company's house emails and gone, oh, we need to be this. Let's register. Let's do this. So I am doing it. I am a registered ACSP.
Nice. And you've already gone through the pain of getting your first one done. So we'll talk about that in a moment.
Yeah.
Suzannah, talk to us. You are hashtag MTD Queen, as Mahul's mentioned there. We'll come back to the comment in a minute. You're an M.ICB bookkeeper and MTD specialist. What's your view on it so far? And what you were telling us off air about how you're going to bring to the conversation. Go for it.
Yeah, so I'm coming to this particular episode as a slight outsider because I am not actually an ACSP registered professional. I do not file with Companies House myself, but I do work with accountants, obviously, who do on behalf of my clients. So I'm getting involved in it. Just for me, this is learning about exactly what's involved. And what needs to be done, and I'm chasing up my clients to make sure they're doing what they need to do with regards to verifying their ID and giving me their codes as well, so I can be another person keeping those codes safe for them.
Nice. And I think we should get trending now, and if everyone's agreement, hashtag voice of reason. So
yes.
as I will get ranty in this episode, unfortunately, because it's my LinkedIn post by any chance, but that's that definitely puts the cat on the pigeon. So yeah, hashtag voice of reason there, Suzannah. So yeah, we'll keep coming back to you, and hopefully you can tell us to calm down a bit. Maybe it's like it's not so bad. Okay, then in this episode we'll be unpacking the true cost of ACP and how that's been. We're broadcast live across LinkedIn, YouTube, and Instagram. And actually, for us Instagram users, which there are more than I ever thought possible coming on Instagram, keep an eye out for the next couple of episodes because StreamYard's done a thing. StreamYard is now letting us go vertical. We've not been able to do it for this one, but they've assured me for the next one it'll be ready. So we're going to have a vertical view for all you Instagram users out there going forward. So yeah, so hello to our Instagram users. Thank you for joining us. Your experience will be much better next time round. But don't leave now. Stay.
Come join us.
All the episodes will be on demand on all major podcasting platforms, and be sure to follow and subscribe so you don't miss a moment of the new series. And if you're watching live, drop your questions and curveballs into the chat, just like Mahul says. Good afternoon, Aaron, Suzannah, hashtag MTD Queen, and Amy, hashtag All Amy from cloudy London. Yeah, it's awful. Although I'm on my way to London in
it's nice here.
So,
I've got blue sky, a few clouds, but I've still got blue sky. Yeah. Sorry, Mahul. Sorry.
I'm definitely not classing where I've got nice, and by the sounds of it, where I'm going is not going to be any nicer either. Kirsty St. John says, hello, everybody. Hello to you too, Kirsty. And Marcus is here. Of course, Marcus is here. His ears will be burning on that. So hopefully we'll be able to bring in the chat as well, where we've gone wrong. And that's what the whole point of the chat is, right? Keep us honest, keep us telling us where we've got things right, something wrong, or if you've got opinions on it as well. And I'm just going to wave and say hello to the Instagram team because I don't get to bring you up on the thing. I think that's what you should go to StreamYard, tell them to let them bring your names up and put here so we can keep them on board. Right. what is ACSP for anyone who isn't fully aware, and then I can get into the rant, and then we can have a conversation about it. So, key dates to notice is the 18th of November 2026. That's what Companies House is pushing as their, well, rant number one. They've made it be the final deadline. That's what they're calling it. As when it all go in, but it doesn't actually mean that that's when all of this, we have to have every code in place and every client has to be verified and everything else. Yes, we want as many as we possibly can by that deadline. It's going to be so much easier if you get more done before the deadline, etc., etc. But the letters haven't helped. The letters have basically put a panicked frenzy into our client database. But basically from 18th of November, that's when all these new changes come into place. And the simplest way to explain what the change is that when you're going to file confirmation statements being with but accounts and all sorts, like basically file anything on Companies House going forward, you're going to have a new code. And that code is basically going to follow you from life for anything you do on Companies House. And in theory, or the good thing about it is it connects it from you as a person to all your individual companies going forward. So you have multiple companies, it will connect it all up for us. It will hopefully prevent fraud as well. It's going to have lots of benefits from it going forward. But the simplest way of looking at this is going forward from the 18th of November, you will struggle to file anything if you don't have this particular code for your directors and for your
PSC.
Persons of significant controls. PSCs. So that, I mean, that's in a nutshell, right? I think the problem we had is we've known about this for a long time, but as we've been talking about MTD, everything else, and all coming through, it seems to have slipped by for a lot of accountants, bookkeepers, and business advisors out there going forward. Now, my first bit I want to talk about on this is we do the MTD watch series, right? How much better have HMRC approached MTD than Companies House has approached ACSP? That's why I want to start the conversation, because at this point, I think we should put a statue up for HMRC about how they approach MTD. Because as much as we're frustrated with MTD and how it is, haven't they done such a better job than Companies House have? Amy, do you want to go first on that controversial point?
I mean, I think notification was given early this year, but the actual release of the information has been quite late in comparison to MTD. And I've not had any interaction with Companies House about this. I get the emails, the generic emails that we all get, but at least with HMRC and the MTD side, they want feedback. They want people in the beta. They want people to test it and say, has anyone tested this? It's live now. I'm not aware. I mean, let me know in the chat. Unless it's been up to the software providers and they've been testing it. I don't know, haven't heard of anyone betaing this for us. It's like a button that's been switched on. And as both me and Aaron have been going through it, we're obviously going to talk about the issues we've had. We've been having issues, confusion, questioning ourselves. I know Mark is watching. I had to chat with him and I was panicking. Am I doing this right? Am I doing this right? Because there's no feedback as well to us. So I feel like Companies House have gone, this is you need to do this. This is how you're doing it. Just crack on with it. And the communication with the clients, the directors, the PSCs, it's been quite late. So thankfully I started early. Like Suzannah was talking about with the MTD side of things with her, I started early, so I was making people aware. Doesn't mean they've done their personal codes, but they were at least aware of it before the emails started coming out. What, a couple of months ago was the first email to our clients. So again, it's one of these things that the government are like, we're doing this, you do it. But at least HMRC are supporting us, are talking to us, are wanting that feedback and communication. I don't see that with Companies House.
No. And Suzannah, from your point of view, right, we've done a lot of work on MTD. We've done a whole series on it, and we've got another series to come. What, from your point of view, if you think about the chatter online, if you think about going to events and stuff, have you seen anything about AC? Because we've seen loads of MTD workshops.
Yeah.
Have you seen anything? Of what's your opinion?
Not a lot. I mean, if I'm being honest, I've filtered it slightly in my head because it doesn't directly affect what I do. However, I haven't seen loads of information. What I have seen has been a bit confusing. And then going back to what Amy was saying about the emails coming out to the clients, I have had a lot of my clients say, I've not had an email. Now, I take that with a pinch of salt because we all know that clients have a habit of ignoring some emails, particularly ones that look like, I don't know, that they might just be information and they don't really think they're going to have to act on it, or they think, oh, that's okay, my bookkeeper or accountant will sort it, and they forget about it. But I've had quite a lot of feedback from my clients to say, well, I haven't had anything. So I've been going online and sending them the link because I know you can do it without an email. But yeah, I don't feel like I'm sort of that clued up on it, and I won't be as clued up on it because I'm not doing it. But I still need to know and be aware. And my clients are the one, I'm the one that the clients talk to day to day rather than their accountant, perhaps in a lot of cases. So, no client has come to me and asked me what it is. No, I've been the one going to them and saying, you should have had this email. You need to do this. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to file anything with Companies House after the 18th. So I don't feel like there's been a huge amount of information out there. Also, there's been quite a lot of confusion because it's happened at the same sort of time as people talking about all the ID cards and stuff.
Digital ID,
exactly. Bringing in, there's been so much confusion with it around that, and I've had clients actually say to me, well, I'm not going to do it because I don't agree with the whole ID card. And I'm like, well, it's not the same thing, and if you don't do it, you're not going to be able to have your company. But so I think there is a bit of confusion out there.
I mean, so many questions, right? Just from your statement there. Like, first of all, the email side of things, from what I can tell, they're using the registered email. So for anyone who doesn't know, we've had registered addresses for a long time with companies, right? And the idea is you pick a fixed abode, that's where all correspondence go to, and it's on public record, blah, blah, blah. And then Companies House, I want to say 2 years ago, but I could have got the time wrong, but Companies House changed it to say it's not just a registered address, but there's now a registered email that you have to do as well.
How does that work with multiple directors, for example? Is there one registered email?
One registered email.
That might explain it.
Yeah, exactly. But two things on this side. First of all, we were providing registered email, and in some circumstances, for some clients, we as the accountant have, and it's a paid for service at Boffix, but we charge them and we providing them an email address, and it's their own unique one, and that then we monitor it on their behalf, right? Yeah, so it's a paid for service, and it's up to the client now to choose it or they don't choose it. So when these emails have come through, from what I can tell, they've been sending them to there. Now, when did we give permission to use those registered emails as like a mail thingy service, right? So that Companies can start sending stuff to them. But that's me on my soapbox. But the problem we have is that these emails that are coming out are actually, of course, all blindsided because we weren't told about them. And there's two parts to it. First, we weren't told about them, so we're having to react to our client. And I've got stats and figures to go later, remind me about it, about my information that I did on a little audit of mine. But also, like, yes, these emails are coming out, blindsiding us, like, causing panic, as like Suzanne, like you're right, like your clients are going to come to you, not your account, not necessarily their accountant, because they want to know about it, right? So we're being blindsided. But also on that letter, it actually states that don't worry about it, your accountant and bookkeepers.
I know.
Sort it for you.
It's so cheeky.
Can we?
And did we agree it? And what did they even ask?
No.
Makes it very difficult, doesn't it? It puts us in a very difficult position, because then we're yet again having to go back and say, if you want me to do that, it's chargeable. And it makes us look like it's another money spinner for us, and we're already having those conversations with MTD. This isn't something we have implemented. It's not something, it's extra work for us, therefore we have to charge, and we'll help you with it, but it isn't free, and it's taking our a lot of our time and resources to provide it. But that's not
Exactly.
what's been communicated from Companies House or from,
Yeah.
No, I think
And on that
so.
theme,
I was just going to say my approach was an MTD approach. These are your options. I think I've gone back. My first email to everyone about it was in April. The first communication from Companies House was August. So
really?
clients were aware of it.
Okay.
Yeah, I've gone back on my own personal registered email address. It does give you the options, and you can do it, or you can get your accountant or solicitor to do it. Thanks for that. But they do have the links to go in there. And actually at the bottom, it has the option to change your registered email address actually on that email. But it's not necessarily an introduction. It says as part of the changes at Companies House. Throw in the mix the announcement about the fee changes at Companies House as well.
Yeah.
I don't know about anyone else. I'm feeling like this kind of, right, we've got to remember this and this and this and as well as doing all the work. So it's a lot. It is a lot for people. And I think actually when you look at the communication, it does sound like the digital ID. And actually,
I haven't put two and two together, but you're absolutely right.
Yeah, and I have had kickback from clients. Like I had kickback from the registered email addresses. Well, where is this going? Why do they need it? Like, I don't want their spam. And that's basically what they were getting, but then they ignore it. And now this comes through, which is less of an introduction, is more of a, because of this act, you are now have to do this, and very quite forceful with it. Now, thankfully, I did notify my clients before, so they are aware of it. But it's still, it's a lot. What's next? I think that's what's on a lot of people's mind with the 100%. Does this link to my digital ID that I'm going to get? And I can't do anything.
But if it does, why? Surely this all should be like, I get the frustration of it not, but actually thinking about it, makes sense that it is. Like, why do we have to have a national insurance code? And then UTR, fair enough, because UTR, you're in it or not, right? Now we've got this digital ID code from Companies House, and then we've got an authentication code for your company. Like there's so much going on, and clients, rightly so, are getting confused, aren't they?
One thing I do like is the kind of amalgamation of the logins. Although we have problems, and I know Aaron's going to go in his rant, so I'm just getting this out at the moment. I'm not saying it's gone well, but no. I had 3 Companies House logins for different things, for the billing, for web filing, and for following companies. And I've kind of, although it's not necessarily worked, I've got the one now. But I'm guessing that in before Aaron starts.
Because I want to reiterate this: the actual end result of ACSP or digital ID, or the company IDs, or whatever we call them, right? The end result, fully back. Like, let's get to a point where we have less fraud in the Companies House database.
100%.
Let's get confidence in that Companies House database. Let's stop having all these individual, like, they're the same people but they're spelt slightly different and they're not found and all that sort of stuff, right? Let's find a way to make that as good as possible. I'm fully on board, like 100%. You've got my backing on that. How can we help? Let's all be on the same team with that. The execution of this. The execution of this.
I'm having technical problems. I'm actually on my phone and somebody just tried to call me and then it lost my camera. So sorry.
Something definitely going. My phones are going off as well. So I think maybe Companies House is telling us to get off this. This call.
Stop talking about us.
And speaking of people as well, thank you for putting all your comments up. We're going to come back to them in a moment. We just want to set the scene and kind of go from there. So let's set the scene. Let's put where my frustration has come from, and a little story time with Aaron on this one. So in my naive approach to this, I assumed that as a client, you have the option to go in there and get your own code, right? Because that's what they've told you on the email. And in fairness, that whole process of getting that code is actually not too bad. I think they've done give props to Companies House. That actual approach has been thumbs up. We're liking that. You have to, it's certain criteria you've got to say, so it won't be right for everyone. But if it fits you, if you fit the criteria, actually, it's not a bad way of getting that code. So I went and did that code the day it went live, whenever that was, right? I registered as an ACSP provider the day that went live, whenever that was. And I'll be completely hands up. I haven't done too much between that other than, talking to clients and all that, but I haven't done too much preparation other than that because I've, MTD and everything else that's going on.
Yeah.
Then I got to the point where it's like, oh, I'm really going to have to start digging into this. So in my mind, I'm like, well, let's go through the ACSP process as me so I can understand what I'm going to need to start providing it, what the hoops are going to be. Let's just get myself through there and do it. And my naivety is that if I have already got that code and then as an ACSP provider, I go and ask for that code, I'm going to be presented the same code or maybe get told, oh, no, sorry, we've already given you that code. You're not allowed it. Something along those lines. So I jumped through the hoops. I had to register. I did it properly. I made sure that I re-AML'd myself to the new criteria. So I did the NFC chip and went through all that. I struggled to find a way to get back into my ACSP account, but that's a story for another day of this email issue that apparently Amy loves, but for the rest of us mere mortals, we're struggling with, right? I got through all of that. I was having to find data from all different databases. It wasn't just in a nice, coherent place. And I thought, you know what? Part of that's on me, right? That's it. I've got to do a database audit to get this sorted or figure something out, right? That's on me. But it was a pain to get finally to the point where I can go, yo, Company's House, can I have Aaron Patrick's digital ID number? He's already got it, but I'm going to ask for it again. Is that all right? Certainly. Here's your code. Here's a brand new code. So as me, Aaron Patrick, I own one code when I did it myself through the Company's House method way back when. And as an ACSP provider, I have now applied for Aaron Patrick's code and I've got a different one.
The same code.
So what happens now is the first code now not usable.
Yeah.
Do I use both of them and just interchange when I feel like it? Or I don't really want to be associated with that company anymore, so I'll use my other code for that one. Yeah, like how are we in a position where suddenly we're getting these multiple codes and it just my whole point I'll keep coming back to is this has been rushed out. Like the form that we'll come back to it, the PCSE issue. The form they need to fill out isn't even live. So we don't even know what information is going to be asked. And there's this deadline looming about it. And then we've got this time to get it in, all this and the other. Like every part of this has been rushed where it's difficult to understand. We've got new terminology we're having to learn. There's so much going on. And it's just it's all right, 18th of November, it'll just go live and deal with it. Oh, sorry, accountants, bookkeepers, and everyone else, solicitors as well. We've signed you up for this. So you'll be ready for it, right? Yeah, happy with that? Happy with it? So yeah, and I've got other issues and problems that I've got, and we'll go into the weeds of it, but am I being naive about this? Like, if we're getting multiple codes, isn't the whole system completely flawed and broken anyway?
Yeah.
It doesn't fill you with hope, does it?
No, and I think when you did tell me about this, I was like, I haven't had that issue but I've not tried. So I did the similar thing as you. Quite quickly got the ACSP. I did mine through the ACSP first, and I've only done it through the ACSP, my own one. So I was like, cool, this process, and the process, once if you've done all the checks and you followed all the guidance, the process of actually telling them that you've done it is really easy. It's actually less information than I thought you would have to provide.
I want to know where Amy's gone. Where is Amy gone? She's been abducted. Company's House got a gun to her head at this point.
No, hang on. Everything was great for me up until today when I've just started playing, and we'll go into that. Everything was great. But see, I personally go on.
Just go back to that statement. You're happy with the process of applying for this code? You think that's a flawless system? Go for it. I just want you to say those words.
I said it was easy. It was easy. Okay, that doesn't necessarily mean it was right. Okay. And whatnot. And I had this panic of it just seems too easy to show that I've done it. And I actually, Marcus is watching, I actually called Marcus and I was like, can I just go through what I've done for myself and just double check that? And we shared screen and we went through it because Marcus, if it doesn't works for Zama, so they've done a lot. They've done a lot more than Companies House, by the way, in training people much more like some of the other software providers. So kudos to them. And it seemed fine. It did seem okay. Go back 35 minutes ago, just before, I thought, right, I'm going to log in. I'm going to have it on my screen, on my other screen, and just make sure. I logged in to Companies House, not the ACSP login. So you get different screens. So I've got this one login, onegov.uk, and it merged. I had multiple logins, and I was happy with that. Got one login. I can do my web filing. I can view all the companies that I'm following. I can do my ACSP. And I've got other different things with different providers on that Gov one login. So that's great.
Yeah.
Logged into Companies House login. Yeah. And a code's come up. I'm using my company Gov UK is my info@ email address. I didn't want to use my personal one because at some point in the future, I want to add different users, blah, blah, blah. So I've logged in as info@ Hancock and Hastings. It's given me a personal code.
But you don't know who it is?
What? I mean, it's got my details.
But
no, I don't know who it is. But it shouldn't be me because it's not my registered email address that I use to verify myself through that login. That code, I've searched all my clients. I don't know whose code it is. So by logging in, have I just created another code for me, even though it shouldn't be me because it's not my registered email address, which is a personal one. So I've got a code. I don't know who that is. So now I'm in Aaron's world of.
You just got this random code.
So up until 35 minutes ago, I was happy. I was so happy. And now I'm like, I don't know. And actually, what I don't like about the ACSP login when people get it is I can't see a history.
No.
Unless I'm missing something and someone can tell me, I can't see a history of whoever. Because I thought I'll go to mine, see when I did it. It's obviously not going to give me the code because the code gets emailed to my personal email address. The process when I've gone through with clients has worked. And I'm hoping they don't do it again because they've asked me to do it. But if they did do it again, does that mean they're going to get a different code? Exactly like you say, and null and void. And then we're going to have this situation of different codes for different people. Which one do we use? We can't submit by the deadlines. Something needs to be looked at by Companies House. Companies House, if you're listening, can you give us some information, please?
What should have happened is we should have had a beta test and we could have got all of these problems ironed out.
Exactly. Irons it all out. Because there's always going to be random scenarios that people haven't thought about. Always. I had a client the other day who's tried to create their own code and the website crashed right at the end of the process before the code was generated and given to her, but she'd already done all the ID bits and everything. And she's come back to me and said, well, what do I do now? The website seems to be down. I'm trying to log into it and I'm getting a message. I've said, well, leave it a few days. She's now on holiday. So she said, I can't do it now. It'll have to be when I get back from holiday. So that's why I haven't had it. I said, it might be that you log in and then the code, it's saved what you've done and the code. Or it might be that, I don't know if it's now going to generate a new code. And there's going to be two codes, one that she's never even received. And does that matter? Or has the new one overridden it? Or there's always these scenarios. And that's why you're completely right. They should have done a beta so that these things could be ironed out and thought of and resolved and fixes put in.
Yeah. And if we'd have had a beta, we would have said straight away that the websites are going to struggle with your current. So, and I get why you think the process is fine. And I think you're right. I think like they haven't overly complicated it. But it's also a long process, right? We have to stay on that website for a long time, which is obviously going to put strain on it. If we're all on the website trying to find the different bits and trying to grab all this, of course it's going to cause strain. Of course it's going to cause performance issues and all that sort of stuff. And if we would have been in this from day one, we'd have gone, We just need an API. We could gather all that data for you. We could send it in one click and get it over to you, and it can be done. And the people like Zama and stuff could build us amazing solutions. I can assure you, right? That would have made this so much easier. But instead, we're all sat using up their resources, sat on these things, trying to find these codes, trying to put them here, put them everything else. It's where, again, there's been no opportunity to talk to us about this. They've just expected us to do it, and now we're finding flaws in it. Let's make sure we're not saying or including on more. So Marcus, all the way back beginning, said software companies found out at the same time as everyone else. So wonder why they haven't been able to build us anything or make things better for us, right? Like they're reacting and having to react the same. And most of these software companies have already got a 2-year, maybe 3-year plan of what roadmap of what their products are going to be, right? And suddenly, we'll just throw this into here's a hand grenade, hold it, it'll be fine. Mahul says, how can we verify client's identity if client asks us to do it on their behalf? What steps do we need to take? Amazing question. And again, right, part of it's on us, right? Because I feel like because we haven't fully been given all the information, we're learning this as we go along. Like I've got WhatsApp groups of different practice managers and all sorts of groups and all that sort of stuff, all manner of different questions and everything else, because there's no one source of truth for this one. And I think the fact that they're making up these new terms, like Suzannah, for you, are you an option 1 or an option 2 when you're doing your AML checks?
What do you mean?
Exactly. But we've got to know that to be an ACSP.
I'm glad I wasn't.
It was a trick, but we're now throwing this idea of an option 1 or an option 2.
Right. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
I keep saying A or B. I don't know why I keep saying A or B, and I keep saying ACSP, ASCP. I keep getting it the wrong way around.
Yeah, I get the wrong way around.
But do you remember, Suzannah, we had the conversation in our little practice group that we've got when it first came out?
Yes.
Who's going to do it? Who's going? I'm going to wait and see what happens. And a lot of people are like, I'll wait and see what happens. And are you going to do it on behalf of clients, or are you going to do it on behalf of non-clients? And I think, I took the MTD approach on that and said, you decide. But I'm trying to push people to do it themselves. Because of these issues that we're having, and also it is time consuming. I mean, I've got software in place to help with AML, and although AML isn't this, it goes a long way to help on that journey. But you don't have to have that. And I know so many accountants that are doing it manually and keeping it manually.
Do you not have to have completed some specific training that, my understanding was, which is why a lot of people don't want to provide it as a service, because they've got to pay for the software, do the training, and everything else. And it's a responsibility, isn't it? And if there's something wrong with the ID and it's a fake ID and it's a good, that's going to come back on you because you've verified it.
100%. And just to clarify what option 1 and option 2 is, and far better, more intelligent people give you a better thing. So don't just use this as it, but just as the layman's way of doing it. Option 1 is you've used technology to verify it. So it's using NFC, it's used selfies, it's, you're using the software to give you that yay or nay on it. Exactly. Biometrics, that's a better term. And option 2 is you kind of using a more traditional way of doing it, and you're having to, and like you said there, the risk is massive, right? Is it fake? Is it not? And that's where there is now additional training that you can pay for to kind of get you to that standards. But it's confusing and even on the ACSP like submission thing, it doesn't tell you have to be trained to do it. I've already had people said, I just did option 2 because that's what I'm already doing, right? Like it is, but actually to be fully compliant, you're supposed to have had this brand new training, which people have to make money, right? The costs I've seen for this training is absolutely obscene, right? And I don't blame them for charging that amount. But that is something that people, if they want to do option 2, they're going to have all this extra training, everything else that goes with it, all this extra cost, blah, 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 like that. It just goes up and up and up. So
can I ask
as
a
a
question
firm,
as well?
Yeah.
Sorry. Am I right in understanding, and I think you just touched on it a minute ago, that that this can be a service that accountants and bookkeepers provide for non-clients, because surely that's
Can
even
be,
more high risk. And if people are doing that,
and back to Amy's kind of big rant at the beginning of everything's rosy and now suddenly starts to fall apart. Apparently, Amy somehow put herself on a list that she is, you know, an ACSP provider for anyone. And
oh dear.
I mean, thankfully,
I've had two calls. I've had 2 calls this week, and there must have been a box. I don't remember because I did it in the early days. Must have been a box to say yes.
Yes,
So I've had 2 calls this week from people, non-clients, asking me to do it. I can. I'm checking ID. I'm not doing any other services, and I've done the training, so I can. I'm obviously going to charge a fee for that.
Yeah.
When we're talking about the fees, I was like, I don't know, £100 like this, because obviously you have to pay to be an ACSP. £55, I think it was.
something like that, wasn't it? Is that a one-off? Is it annual?
Pay to be that. I think it was a one-off. I didn't sign a direct debit mandate. I'm pretty sure I didn't do that. You know, you've got to pay for the software to do it, to help you do it.
Yeah.
So I thought, right, that was a good thing. I said, full transparency. Another accountant said £45. I was like, cool, go with them. Again, it is still a risk because I don't know them.
And I think you're pricing it because you don't really want to do it, do you? You don't really want to do it. So you'll do it if you have to.
Maker.
But no.
Yeah, it's not a money maker. It's like the AML checks that we have to do. It's not a money maker for me. I have to do it, and I just recharge the cost on. And for my clients, I think I started at 25 for them and then put it up to 50 as it got closer. I know the 18th of November 2025 isn't a deadline, but I want people to get moving and make a decision now, because I don't want to have
you've got enough to do in December, January, you know, with
just in life.
Yeah, and in life.
just in life. I mean, but it's I'm just surprised that I'm getting non-clients ring me, and I must have ticked a box. Someone hopefully has ticked a box as well and can comment on that. But
I saw on Facebook, somebody posted on Facebook the other day in one of the accountants groups about how they're getting a lot of phone calls of people, non-clients, asking them to do this and getting the hump when they're saying, sorry, we're not going to offer that for non-clients. And they're saying, well, you have to, because it says that you're an accountant and the accountants have to do it, and people are getting
company's
really
house letter is
nasty.
telling them that, right?
Yeah.
Accountants and solicitors. Yeah. So I found the list. I'm going to find myself while you're talking.
Go for it. Let me go through some of the comments. Marcus B also says the AML regulation is closely aligned on the ID verification side, particularly option 2, which I think is why Companies House said that in the letter, with the addition of training, of course. Yeah, but option 1 and option 2, I mean, maybe I've never come across it as phrased as that before. But then again, we didn't really have option 1 before, right? Like option 1's quite a new term. It's using selfies, especially on the new I don't know if you've seen on the new passports, you can literally scan your phone and it'll give you a read, and it's well up for that. That's a really good way of doing it. Like don't want to tempt fate here, but that seems like quite a hard thing to be fraudulent on, right? And I think that's what we want. We want to have like opportunities to have confidence in this sort of thing, right? So it was just learning that, because for me as a practice, flat out refuse to do anything other than option 1. If I can't get an option 1 verification from a client for this, for traditional AMLs, we can put risk assessments in, and we can do all sorts of things, right? And there's other ways around it, and we can work with the client. But for this ACSP, because at the end of the day, if I get this wrong, they'll strip the license away from me. I can't have that risk. So I've just flat out to all my clients, if we can't do option 1, then I'm really sorry, but you're gonna have to find someone else to do option 2. And that, like, having that conversation with clients is tricky, right? And a hard one. But I don't know any other solution. I can't, like, even option one, which in theory should be a more straightforward way, right? We're letting software with our training kind of dictate to us if it's right or wrong, and it's a black and white, right? Black and white, yes, that's right, or no, that's wrong. So it should then be, once we've got that thumbs up, we then go to this, this place on Company's House, and we put the data in, and technically that's us giving us, providing that service, and the client will get their code. But it's so tricky to go through. Have you found yourself, Amy?
I'm here. I have found myself. I'm one of 2 in my town.
Oh,
I don't know how to take myself off. If I wanted to
how
take
you put
myself
yourself
off,
on there in the first place.
I must have. There must have been a button. There must have been a thing. But yeah, I'm one of 2 in my town. It says that I'm ACCA on there. So, and it's got my address. So I must have done it. But
Interesting.
there is currently 393 people. It's an Excel spreadsheet that you click on. 393 companies that are there. So you must be able to search through that.
So when did they update this spreadsheet then? Is this just have they got one random person that just sits there and updates it?
Oh, God.
Ads on the bottom.
Claire Kendall says, I'm encouraging my clients to do it themselves, but AFAIK, nobody has yet.
As far as I know.
As far as I know.
No, good one. Thank you. My dyslexia was coming in there. It's like, is that spelling something? Yeah,
It's
great point there.
okay.
Great point there, Claire. Great point. Yeah, the clients are struggling. I've got some tips. If we get around it, I've got some tips on how to help your clients go forward. Marcus says, did you use 2 different emails, Aaron, as it should have blocked the second attempt, if not unique? Yeah, that could well be true, but I was using, maybe. I mean, I have 12 email accounts that I have access to, so very, very good chance that's going to be it.
We can test this. I can do it. I can try and do it as me. Because I don't know. Let's see what happens. But then,
do you want to have 2 codes and be one of those people in life that has 2 codes?
I mean, I've got this
I don't feel
random
comfortable about it.
I've got this random code anyway that's sitting on my info email address, and I don't know who's that for. So why not? Let's see how many I can get.
At least you've got one person who says the process is very cool. So one person is on your. There you go, Amy. They aren't listening. They're live on ACX Virtual right now. Are we clashing? Uh-oh.
Yeah, we are.
If you go direct, the code stays in the portal. That's a good point, actually. So if you don't go direct, how does the client ever retrieve that code then? How are people verifying ID for AML if they're not using software and don't have support in training? It's scary. This is where hopefully this will get better, and with the new reform coming through, the AML reform, hopefully, like, as much as it's going to have bad press, hopefully that's going to be as Mahua confirms it was a £55 one-off charge. Thank you for that, Mahua. Until they tell us it's another charge on top, but I'll get off my soapbox. If you get it wrong under your ASPO role, you're stripped of the role. If you do it wrong under AML, you get a fine or even go to prison.
Yeah,
I guess that's more. But I don't know. Do I feel like AML? We've had more. I feel like there's more training around. There's more people to talk to. There's more of a support network. Like, we're not going into the unknown with this one. Generally, option 1 or option 2. I'm still confused what actually means. Like, and I know Marcus and the guys at Zama have had the same issue. Like, there's no clarification properly if your client doesn't have an NFC chip, but they have a passport and they do the selfie biometric recognition and do that, is that still option 1? ChatGPT says it is, but hey, could have hallucinated anything it wanted at that point, right? But Company's House will not confirm if that is still an option 1, not an option 2.
I would take that as an option 2. Oh, that's Kirsty talking about me going on the list. No, the ACCA, I haven't had to notify the ACCA that I'm in.
Well,
you have to if you're a TCSP, don't you? You have to notify, or we have to notify ICB if we're doing anything like that, and then they put us on the TCSP.
Oh God, if I had to do that, sorry, live everyone, ACCA, I'm sorry if I needed to notify you. I'll do it right now.
I don't know. I don't
Marcus,
know.
send help.
I don't know. But I can't remember even being asked if I was. I don't want to be on the list. I hope I'm not on that list. I don't want to be anywhere near a list. But yeah, at the moment, I just want to be known as the person with 2 ACSP company ID codes, and I'm happy with that. All right, let's stop it being quite so negative, and let's just give a bit of a tip out there for how we've approached it, and hopefully then, Amy, if you can bring some idea table and stuff like that on what people are doing. So for me, I went down the approach of, right, first of all, let's go through our client base. Now, this is a problem that I think a lot of people are going to have. Like, how do you know which of your clients are just directors or just PCSEs and all that sort of stuff? There's not an easy way, right? So I just went with all my contacts and all my individuals are classed as mine. And I just did a blank email to everyone and asking them to fill in a form. In that form, I was asking them the first question. First of all, do they even need to worry about this? Yes or no? And I gave them some guidance, and they made that decision for us. Then the next one is, do they already have the code? If they do, put it in here, and it'll populate our database for us. That's the preferred option. And then the next question on this form is, okay, you don't have the code. How are you going to do it? Here's the option to do it yourself. Tick here if that's what you're going to do. Or if you want us to do it, here's the things that we have to hit criteria-wise to get it. You need to give us an email address. You need to, confirm you want us to do it, right? And I would advise everyone to get confirmation from your client that you want, that they want you to go and do it, right? Here's a fee that we're going to charge. Here's, what else do we ask at this point? We will only be able to do this if you redo your AML check and it comes out an option 1. And we're trying to explain what option 1 is to our clients at that point, right? Because we're learning it ourselves. And that's the process. And then what happens then is we send that out to the clients, they fill it out. If they tick they want us to do it, we send them a brand new AML solution going forward, because we've only just had the access to do it as an NFC chip. The frustration for that, though, is that sometimes clients, they feel like, well, I did it, 6 months ago, a year ago, and 2 days ago, whatever it is, right? And it feels like it's an extra step for them to go through. But the also frustration is that even if they do have that NFC chip, they can opt not to do it the NFC chip, and they can kind of just give you the exact same AML that they did before and go through that. But that's been our process of doing it. And having that form basis means that we're making them make the choice themselves. The clients are having to make that choice there and then. They're having to kind of make a decision, and we keep just pushing that form out to them until it finally gets completed. And that's worked quite well for us. No pushback from clients, no major issues. And when we come to do, if they have opted for us to do it, we're taking a copy of what that AML process says to say, yep, we're okay. We're taking a copy of them saying, yeah, we're happy to do it as in the client for that form. And then we're taking a copy of what comes out at the end of the ASP procedure, where it gives you a little breakdown and you get to print it off. All that together, that's going in our little file basically on that client's folder. That's our process that's gone through. Frustrating though with this ACSP process is, again, naive from me, but my expectation is, if we're asking for this code from a client, and I'll ask you, Suzannah, if we're going to ask for this code for a client, typically it's because, or there's going to be scenarios where you're right up against a deadline, right? Like that's a situation where you're going to probably lean on this, right? When you get to the end and you've provided all the details, so it's the name, it's the address, it's the details of option 1, option 2, it's putting then proof that you have that information, so it's like passport numbers and stuff like that. Once you've gone through all that and you press submit, what would your expectation of that code be? Would you expect to get access to that code there and then?
Yeah, I would expect it to either show on the screen and then you can print a PDF and put it in their folder, or it would or it would be followed up with an email perhaps, or you need to re-log in and your code will show in their account or something like that. That's what I would think. And I don't know.
I get the reasons why not, but as the ACSP provider, we don't see that code. The client,
the code then goes to the client, and then they have to give it to you.
They have to pass it to us. Which there's a security thing there, and I get that. But I feel that, again, if we had the consultation, if we were doing, we'd have to find a way to prevent that? There must be
I
a
suppose it stops
world
people doing it on people's behalf without them knowing. But
potentially. But I just feel like,
what's the point in us doing it at all then? Why do they not just do it?
because normally it's because there's 10 minutes to go before the deadline, right? And we're like, we haven't got the code for one of the 7 directors we've got. Oh no. Like
That's
I
going
can
to
see the
happen.
panic.
Yeah.
So you go through your ASP, you collect it, and then we're still not going to out that code because the client's not awake. They're asleep.
Yeah.
It's 10 to 12 at night. Do you know what I mean? Like that's what my problems, coming from there.
Because I think a lot of, I might be wrong here, but my impression is that for some of my clients who have external accountants and haven't been contacted by their accountant at all about this, and I've been the one sort of prompting them, where they've got in touch with their accountants, they're like, well, we'll do it when we file your accounts. Which I kind of get, because then there's no risk of the code getting lost in the meantime. But that is surely up against the deadline. We all know things are going to go wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
At the last minute.
Yeah.
It depends how last minute they are, I suppose, with doing the accounts. I don't know, but I just, It's
So,
all a bit of a...
Amy, as it's all perfect in your world in the way that it's all correct and everything else, and they're doing absolutely nothing wrong. What's your tips for
Up until
people?
an hour ago, I'll have you know, up until an hour ago when I started seeing problems. So, like I said earlier, I contacted everyone in April, blanket email. Now, I manually looked at my client list, and I know who are directors and PSCs because I'm a smaller practice. Because I'm a smaller practice than you. Yeah. So I know all of my clients. Like, not saying that you don't, but I know whether they're directors or PSCs. I even put my husband on the list, and he doesn't need to be. But anyway,
get him a code anyway. Maybe that's his code. This
we
unknown
didn't do
code.
it in the end. Oh, okay. Yeah, because he's not a PSC or a director. He has a little shareholding. Anyway, enough about him. So I went through that process, and I said there'll be an option for you to do it yourself or us to do it at a fee, which when I became the ACSP, that's the right way around. When I became the ACSP, that's when I sent another email out to be like, this is a fee. And I followed up, I think it's July, and then the August, the emails started coming from Companies House. Thankfully, a lot of people have just decided to do it themselves. Nice. And not pay me a fee for it, which is great. And actually, whilst we've been recording this, a client has sent me their personal code on email.
Oh, good.
So forward to me. So they've done it themselves. They might be watching. That might be why. Anyway, when I have been doing it for other people and then going onto Companies House and logging it that I have done it, it's because they've come back and told me to do it. They've come back to respond to that email to say, quite often it's, I've tried to do it myself. I just do it. Basically, just do it. So they know that I'm going to do it, and I've been doing it there and then because I haven't had that many. Yeah. So an email does come to me to say you have done it. Okay. Effectively, your client will get a code. So I keep that email until I get the personal code.
But at least you're getting confirmation that you have that it has been submitted and received.
Exactly. So there is email confirmation coming to me that I have verified someone's identity, and that they
say whose identity you verified on that email. Yeah, it does.
I'm saying yes.
I mean, I delete mine, so I've already learned something here because I just deleted it. I was like, more spam.
Oh, I keep mine.
Well, it's the sort of thing I would keep if it had, because then you can track it, can't you? You can say, I did it at this time on this date, and
it does say. So it actually says identity verified full client, and then gives their name. I'm printing from the screen and saving that down. So to show
there is a button in fairness that you can.
There is a print.
Yeah.
And then saving this email, and then the client is forwarding me their email that has their code on it. So winning or giving me their code, and then I am currently storing that in Engager, but also I love an Excel list, so I've got an Excel list as well, and that's just so I can scan down and see who's not done it.
Makes sense.
Susanna, I've also got it in date order as well. Sorry, just clarify. I've got it in date order when the next confirmation statement is due.
That's clever.
Because I know there's someone beginning of December. I know there's someone that's not done it.
So great segue there. So Susanna, so I want you to give us logic as the hashtag voice of reason, right? So Amy's done it in confirmation order because the process is that once we do our next confirmation statement, we'll put that code in and that's going to assign it to those people, right? Like that's the process of going through. And directors, easy, that's what it's going to do. If you're a director on a PSC, then that's exactly how it's going to be, and that's how the process is going to work. If you're a PSC but not a director, I want you to run through this scenario and give me logic for it. Ready? So if you're a director on a PSC, it's all on the confirmation statement. That makes sense, right? Everyone sees that's public knowledge. And I may have got this wrong. I may have been reading the wrong thing, but like, correct me if I'm wrong. Put it in the chat if that's not right. But if you're a PSC, it's based on your birthday, and you get 14 days either side of your birthday to provide a random form that we still haven't seen this form. That back to the beginning of the thing about it was completely broke. We don't even know what this form is. And PSCs have to fill in that form on the anniversary of their birthday, 14 days either side. Explain.
That makes no sense to me. Why?
Thank you.
That's just a narrow window that people are going to miss. That's setting people up for failure.
Yeah. Like,
okay.
Anyone give me some logic, please, in the comments. I want one person to defend this reason. Why is that not just on confirmation statement as well? Why have we got this separate thing for? And trying to find that date is an absolute nightmare. Like, first of all, who's a PSC and not a director? That's bad enough in your database, right? There's work to be done to find that. Shout out to Inform Direct because they've got a really nice solution for it. My solution, BGL, have no solution for it, and they've just left me in the lurch, right? So I'm having to manually do this for myself. But finding who the PSCs who are not a director is a bad enough thing.
Yeah.
Then trying to find their birthday and then trying to work that through it, and
that's just so complicated, and there doesn't seem to be any logic behind it. It doesn't.
See, I'm late to the party on this one, on this comment. But then I've gone through my list and I have got directors and PSCs.
Most of the time.
So I've just taken, but I have got some PSCs in there that aren't directors. I just know that I'm probably going to miss someone.
Hopefully there aren't that many, but yeah.
And I've just gone I want everyone done by the 18th of November. And now this element, and I just,
because I think like that deadline, it just putting a deadline in like that, and it's coming from Companies House, and yes, we know it isn't the actual deadline that they've got to do it by, but by putting that in, I think that cements it in the client's head. It needs to be done by this point, and then you've got it done. And
so after this call, I'm going to, I don't know whether I'll ring or email, I haven't quite decided yet. I'm going to start going, come on, guys.
Yeah,
especially, and I will start with the ones whose confirmation statements are first. But the whole PSC thing date, I've kind of just ignored, and I'm kind of thinking, oh God, have I got to change my spreadsheet now and add another column? I'm just So that's something on my to-do list. I need to actually consider that because I've just
the only thing on your to-do list.
Yeah, exactly. Nothing else for this one time.
Why? There's nothing else going on.
Amy, you came to Claire's rescue yet again. I came to hear your genius plan. You didn't disappoint. Well done.
Yeah. The PSC, just added that in. Clearly, you wrote that before the PSC thing. But if I can get everyone to the 18th,
I may have made that up.
I'm gonna ask the question of you, Aaron, and you know this, or if anyone else is still listening. PSCs, I don't have to do anything if they get done by the 18th, right? If they're PSC and not director.
Oh, it's an anniversary of their birthday.
Yeah, but do I have to? What? Oh.
So we still need to apply for a code for them. And you can apply for the code whenever, but the deadline to get that code. We don't know what the form is. Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm not adding a column yet.
I'm happy that my company secretarial solution hasn't got that form ready for me yet, because I can't even, I don't know what's on it, right? But that needs to come through and but what, I don't know, what if their birthday is the 19th of November? Do they get 13 days to file it? Don't know.
Surely it's just going to be a thing that adds in later, because there is going to be
the way
someone
they're saying
listening
it
in
is-
this country. There's going to be someone that's a PSC who's got their birthday in the next month. Like right? There's going to be someone.
Yeah, a lot, I would have thought, but at the moment there's no form for them to fill out because the form's not been made yet. But it's all right. We've got plenty of time. 6 days. Huh?
Okay.
I'm gonna leave you for some stats and figures. So just to clarify how I got these stats and figures, I basically went to ChatGPT. I connected my HubSpot, which is my ticketing system, and it went. There's what is it now? What's the number of my tickets now? So I feel for ChatGPT every time I ask this question, because I do ask it a lot. 94,888. 94,886 tickets I have that ChatGPT has to go through. And I basically asked about ACSP. That's the ticket towards is an email or some form of communication from a client, and then kind of do it from there.
Oh my goodness.
So I asked them to look through that for me about ACSP and all this sort of stuff and all the stuff we've been talking about. They came back with some interesting stats. They told me kind of how many percentage of it. So 17.8% in the last six months. So no, this was a week on this one. 17.8% of all tickets in that week were related to ACSP. This was the last week that was happening, because we did that mail merge. We wanted to get the information in, blah, 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 blah. So not a lot of comeback, to be honest. There's a lot still missing. But even on that 17.8%, that equates to, and ChatGPT made this up, but it's fine. We'll just go with it. It says the last 10 days have effectively consumed a full times week capacity for one team member purely managing company house and AML fallout.
I saw you put that on LinkedIn, didn't you, on a post? Yeah, it's unbelievable. Compared
with the last 6 month average, 3.8% of tickets, that's a 4 to 5-fold surge. So yeah,
right when we're trying to ramp up on self-assessments, MTD, everything else, not ideal.
Yep, it's painful. It's painful.
I'm glad that I'm not really that involved in this.
When I ask it to go back for 6 months and do an estimate, it estimates 30 full working days, that's 1.5 months of staff time, have been spent on ACSP related tickets.
And this is why I'm going to ask how I come off the list.
Yeah.
Really? I thought it was such a great option for you.
No, I like, hey, let's get this right. I like that I have one company's house login. That's what I like. And the process was easy. Whether it's right or wrong, the process was easy. I have been trying to find how I come off that list, and I can't find it. So I will keep everyone posted.
Definitely. And Mahu, thank you very much.
It's still time consuming, isn't it, though? All of this. Even if you're saying, well, we're not going to do it, the client has to do it themselves. We're not going to be charging, so you're not making any money, but you've still got to chase the code. You've still got to have the conversation. You've got to explain what they've got to do and what you've got to say to them. No, it's not. It's not an infringement of your privacy and all of this, which they could, every
time you file a set of accounts going forward or confirmation, you're going to have to put that code somewhere. Now, some software will have really sophisticated ways of maybe at some point TaxCalc's going to talk to an engager, and you, Amy, that code will just flow in nicely for you, right?
Yeah.
But for us mere mortals, like, we're going to have to copy and paste that code. Do you know what I mean? So Mahul says, thank you very much, all three of you, for the great discussion. I'll see Aaron and Susanna on Monday at the summit, and you'll also see Amy at Lucas Award. We'll all be there.
They let an auditor in the room.
So we are looking forward to it, and we're going to put it out there into the world, and we'll see if it gets traction or not. We are thinking, and let us know, comments and all that sort of stuff. Reach out to us. Would you guys be interested that if in 2 weeks' time we bring you the budget live on this platform so we can all talk about it? So we're going to put it out there, see if people want it or not. And hopefully, fingers crossed, we can see you all this time in a couple of weeks' time. And then once that's done, promise you we'll get MTD series back up and running. Cool. Right. Plug away. Susanna, how can people find you? Go for it.
You can find me on LinkedIn. That's probably the best place. just as Suzannah Whelan, and I think I've got MICB PM dip or something on there as well. Yeah.
So
Yeah, and you
hashtag,
can find me next week at the summit on Monday at the ICB summit if you're there.
and you're doing a
looking
virtual
forward to
session as
seeing
well, aren't you?
people. I'm doing a virtual session on the Wednesday morning at 9:30, 9:35, I think it is. Yeah. So you can see me on there
Definitely
as well.
be there. Hashtag MTD Queen, hashtag the voice of reason. Hashtag Audit Amy, plug and plug away.
And you can find me on LinkedIn like Suzannah. I'm doing various podcasts. Oh, we're doing a podcast tomorrow, aren't we, Aaron?
Yes. Is it secret? I don't know. I don't know if we're allowed to tell it or not. I've already packed my NDA book away. That's how prepared I am.
To hear it.
No, go for it.
Surely we want people to watch.
Secret podcast where no one listens isn't great, is it?
There's a special QuickBooks Labs tomorrow.
There is.
From QuickBooks HQ.
Very
and I'll
exciting.
wait until I get something through on email. I'm sure that'll be fine. I'm not saying what it's about, but the time is 8:30 a.m. and we are live. So
and there's a reason.
Great. There is a reason. It would be great if people come along because it's an early one for me. So I'll be live on coffee. So yeah, tomorrow 8:30 a.m. QuickBooks Labs special from QuickBooks HQ in London. Yes, and they let me into the Lucas. So excited to see all the bookkeepers there. Excited to see the awards. Hopefully see some of you there. And yeah, I think there's other. Well, hopefully the budget. Hopefully get this podcast for the budget because you'll get my live reaction to various different things. I mean, if that's not enough, right?
Send her tissues for when she cries.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
I'll be biting my lip a lot, going, "What's she doing? What's she doing?"
If anyone out there wants to get branded merch out there, branded tissues over to Amy before the next. There you go. Done your marketing for you. We are live, like you said, next tomorrow. So looking forward to that. We're also live from ICB on Monday morning, and we've got all sorts of stuff coming your way. So make sure you look into that. So we're really excited. Really, everything else, blah 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 blah. Just keep an eye on my socials for more rants. I think that's going to continue coming. So you know.
You need another hashtag, Aaron. We need to get Aaron another
hashtag. Claire Kendall says yes and yes to doing the thing. So it looks like we're going to have to do it. The people have said yes. Mahul says yes as well. Hey, auditors need great bookkeepers. See you all on Monday. And to review tomorrow. Yeah, looking forward to that, Kirsty. Maybe you could jump in for the QuickBooks Labs podcast. Maybe we'll see how that works. Yes, yeah. Well, we've got you covered. We are going to be doing it by the looks of it. We've been bullied into it by the community, and that's how I like it. Catch up with you tomorrow at 8:30. Thank you, Mahal. Me and Suzannah are finalists in the same. You are, so we'll be. Will be good luck to everyone. And that's the accountant are up for an award as well. It won't be my award or our award. It'll be your award. Don't you worry. That's how we'll be going there. And hashtag Grid Walk. We are definitely bringing the Grid Walk. Can't wait for it. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Suzannah. Thank you, Amy, for coming to this impromptu one. Thank you for everyone for being there. Claire says thank you all. We'll see you same time, same place at some point in time, whenever that's going to be. Keep an eye on the socials. That's always the best place to do. And we'll see you then. Bye for now.
Bye.
And I'm pressing the button.